What up, y'all? It's your boy Sharpsy. I'm here to tell you guys in detail about what our loot system is going to be for Loot Council, how we're going to be deciding loot, what's going to go into it, how you guys are involved, and everything in between. First, let me say, no loot system is perfect, and there's always going to be pros and cons with every loot system. However, with this loot system, we feel like it's going to be leaps and bounds ahead of the last loot system. It's going to be way more nuanced, just like it should be with loot, because just doing static values is not really the way that just makes the most sense. So with our new loot council system, the way that we're setting it up, there's going to be way less oversights, if at all. Yeah, there's not going to be any finicky things or any loot that goes to the wrong person mistakenly. Everything is going to be, for the most part, gone over with a fine-tooth comb. And we're going to have everything organized and understood. And we're going to be extremely transparent about what the loot is going to look like each week. Yeah, so with that being said, there's going to be two main ways that we discuss loot and handing out loot for our list each week. And let me just say, things are subject to change, and you guys are going to be seeing the loot list. We're going to publicize the loot list, so you guys will be able to put your input and etc. Yeah, so the more organic and dynamic aspects that we'll be looking at and taking into account when giving loot out to our core raiders, really important principles actually. It's going to be things like attendance, attitude, performance, and preparedness. Those are going to be pretty much the main things that we're looking at as leadership on making our decisions. However, as I said before, there's two main forms. That's the first form, so that's the dynamic, real-time kind of things that we decide on. Then we'll also be looking at things that are more static, things that are more statistics and hard, not evidence, but resources. When there's two people who are extremely close, they're both, all those dynamic things that we said, that I said before. They're both prepared, they both have great attitudes, they're both performing well, and they're both always prepared for raid. These are the things that we default to when it's too close of a call, okay? So we're going to be looking at current gear optimization. So that's each player's current gear setup and their optimization, who's going to benefit from it more, and then their time spent in the guild, as well as the EPGP. So the EPGP is only going to be 1 per boss kill and 1 GP per gear item to keep track of who's been getting these items. It's no longer going to be decided who gets these items through EPGP. It's merely a system to keep track of where everybody's at. So it's just another resource. It's not a decision maker. Okay. So the last thing that we will also be taking into account is the wish list. So essentially, this is full transparency. We haven't decided if it's going to be set in stone for 1 month or 90 days. So 30 to 90 days, it's still up in the air. We're still going to be deciding that, and we'll let you guys know. So these wish lists, you basically DM them to your class leaders. If you do not have a class leader, you can DM it to the person in leadership that you feel close enough to. I don't mind taking on hunters, so if hunters need to DM me their loot lists, you can do that. All healers can DM their lists to Chisia. Yeah, let me explain this wish list. So you go through, current content, past content, and you tell us your 3 biggest items that you'd want, okay? So 1 being the most, 2 being the middle, and then 3 being the least, okay? So you're going to send those 3 items to us in leadership. And let me be fully clear with this. We are not going to decide who gets what first based on these lists. It is just another resource that we have that we can help make our decisions. So what we're trying to do is just get as many things as we can that make sense to us, that check all these boxes and cover as much ground as we can, so that there's no mistakes that are made. So let's say you would still benefit from this weapon, but on your loot list, that weapon isn't even on there, right? It's gonna help us so that, if we think an item should go to you, you're communicating with us and we know that this is what, you don't want that piece or you do want that piece. It's just another resource that can help us make our decisions. So I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so just to reiterate everything, 2 forms. There's the dynamic, organic, things like attendance, attitude, performance, and preparedness. Those things can change any given week. However, the more consistent you are with those things, that will obviously be held into account. And then we have our resources that we go to, current gear, as well as gear optimization, time and guild, item wish list, and EPGP. I think I pretty much covered everything. To finish it off, the loot list will be displayed for every core member to see. We're going to be posting each week the current week's loot list of who's going to be getting what. Anything that's BIS will be on that list for that week. It's not going to blindside anybody. Everybody is going to know what they're going to get. And to me, that's exciting. It's no longer, this arbitrary thing that's based on, just EPGP straight up. There's a lot of things going into it. There's a lot of decisions. And, our decision with this is we just want the least amount of loot drama. We just want to have the most objective and best loot system for our guild and, for everybody, and be as fair as possible. And reward those who, come prepared and ready to kick ass. And, and if that's everybody in the raid, then you'll definitely reap the benefits. We're really taking a close eye to this system, and we're going to really strive to do our best. That being said, there might be a mistake here or there, but it's going to be far less than what it was with the old EPGP system. This one is going to be, way more thought out, way more transparent, and there's not going to be any curveballs or blindsides. You guys will know exactly what's going on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Appreciate all you guys, Dirty Fam, and get hyped for AQ40. Peace.